And I would like to introduce Helen Schmidt, George Truman, Joe McLean, Jack Woods and Michelle Cameron. As the team leader, I'm the only Rotarian among us, and the team members are not Rotarians, but they are sponsored by Rotary clubs in the district, which they'll tell you a little bit about later. But before they do, I would like to introduce you to our district, 9650, which is in the top part of New South Wales and is bordered by the towns of Woolgoolga in the northeast, Lightning Ridge in the northwest, Canamble in the southwest and Foster in the southeast. To give you an idea of the size, to get from Woolgoolga to Lightning Ridge takes about 12 hours.
I hope we're not going to get a pop quiz.
Yeah, the quiz later, yeah, that's right. There are 56 Rotary clubs in the district with about 1,660 members. The main industries are tourism, particularly along the coast, education, agriculture, construction, mining and forestry. The climate of the district is very diverse, with summer temperatures at Lightning Ridge reaching around the 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and winter temperatures on the tablelands, where I'm from, dropping to about 5 degrees Fahrenheit. The district is home to World Heritage listed national parks and rainforests along the coast and on the ranges, as well as having the Aussie outback in the west. In District 9650, you can visit the Big Banana, or the Golden Guitar. You can fossick for Australia's beautiful opals and sapphires, as well as swim at some of the best beaches New South Wales has to offer. The main Indigenous tribes of the district are the Anawan, Biripi and Kamilaroi people. And now just a little bit about me before I hand over to the team. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Armidale. I'm married to Neil, and we live on 100 acres just outside of town with our 2 dogs, some chooks and cows. We run 2 businesses, a retail travel agency and travel gear shop in Armidale, and an outdoor shop in Newcastle, which is about 4 hours away. I've been a Rotarian for 11 years and I'm hoping to become a better Rotarian through this experience and learn more about Rotary on an international level. And now I'll pass over to our chalk.
Thanks, Mark.
That's okay.
I'm Helen Schmidt and I'm from Port Macquarie and I'm sponsored by the Rotary Club of Port Macquarie. Port Macquarie is situated halfway between Brisbane and Sydney and has a population of around 39,000. The Greater Port Macquarie area, which includes several surrounding townships, encompasses an area of 2,295 square miles and has a population of over 74,500. The traditional owners of this land are the Biripi people. Port Macquarie is home to the Billabong Koala Park, as well as the only koala hospital in the world. This is a not-for-profit organisation which treats sick and injured animals and is involved in research into various koala diseases. Port Macquarie is also a very sporting town, hosting numerous national and state sporting events each year. These include Australia's longest running surfing event, the New South Wales Longboard Titles and the Australian Ironman Championships. This year Port has been selected as the location of the Parachuting Accuracy National Championships, as well as the Australian Formula Powerboat Grand Prix. The town has also hosted the New South Wales Touch Football State Cup for the past 20 years. The major industry of Port Macquarie is tourism, with a variety of things to see and do attracting people to the area. These include our beautiful beaches and national parks, and many outdoor activities such as abseiling, skydiving, horse riding and surfing. And for something more relaxing, there's lots of walking trails and drives. The Rotary Club of Port Macquarie was chartered on May 22nd, 1948, and was the first Rotary club in the area. The club meets at 6 o'clock on Wednesday evenings and has 38 members, with Glenda Barber as its current president. The club's major projects include the building of a hospital and schools on the island of Tanna after it was devastated by cyclones in 2004. Locally, the Port Macquarie Club has been responsible for the construction of accommodation for the family of very ill patients at the public hospital, as well as surf life-saving surveillance towers at 5 of the town's patrolled beaches. I am a high school science teacher with a particular interest in biology and marine studies. I am employed by the Department of Education and Training, which is mainly funded by the state government. I've worked at Campton Haven High School for the past 6 years. This is a little bit different to most high schools, as it offers distance education as well as face-to-face learning, which means that some of our students may live up to 155 miles away from the school, or they may be travelling around Australia or even the world. It has 800 face-to-face students, about 300 full-time distance education students and 600 single course students with over 120 staff. A typical day for me includes planning and delivering lessons in the classroom as well as over the phone, marking distance education materials and sending more out to students. During our exchange to Florida, I would in particular like to learn more about how marine studies is taught in your schools, so I can take home some fresh ideas and teach my students to become more curious and involved in the subject so they can learn to love it as I do. And I was hoping to get out onto the water and experience the marine environment myself, which I did in the first week. We went boating, kayaking and snorkeling, and I'm looking forward to doing more of that. I have two beautiful children. Elizabeth is turning 18 very shortly and is in her final year of high school, and Nick is 13 and just started high school this year. And my partner of 5 years, John, is an electrician and he owns and operates his own business. I enjoy playing netball, which is a sport most of you may not be very familiar with, even though the original version of the game was developed in Springfield, Massachusetts. So you have to go and look it up.
That will be in it.
I'm very involved with my local association as an umpire, coach and representative player. I also enjoy reading and dining out with my partner and friends. What I love about Australia are the animals. From the bright and beautiful to the cute and cuddly, the dangerous and deadly. Well, yeah, I don't like them quite as much. And the just plain weird looking. And just as Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster, we have the mythical bunyip, which can be found in many farm dams, or the rumoured drop bears, which have surprised many an unsuspecting tourist. So now I'd like to pass over to George, our dirt doctor.
Very good. Thanks, Helen. I'm George Truman and I come from Gunnedah. Gunnedah is a small country town around 255 miles northwest of Sydney and is 866 feet above sea level. It has a population of around 10,000 people in town, with another 5,000 living in small villages or on rural properties. The major industries are agriculture and coal mining. Gunnedah is a truly diverse agricultural area, supporting both winter and summer cropping, cattle, sheep, pigs, wheat, sorghum, barley, maize and sunflowers. Some of the best quality cotton in the world is grown in the Gunnedah Basin. Gunnedah is also located on one of Australia's largest coal deposits, with around 10 international companies operating around 20 coal mines in the Gunnedah Basin. Tourism is also a large and growing industry, with Gunnedah claiming to be the koala capital of the world. As well as hosting one of Australia's largest agricultural field days, AGWIP, which can attract around 100,000 people to town each year. Gliding around Lake Keepit is popular, with the National Hang Gliding Championships in the area, as is camp drafting and rodeos. The district has connections with Australia's most well-known poet, Dorothea Mackellar, who gained much inspiration from the surrounding landscape to write the poem My Country. The climate ranges from 95 degrees Fahrenheit in summer to 60 degrees Fahrenheit in winter, and we have around 24 inches of rain each year. My sponsor club is Gunnedah West, which was chartered in 1970, has around 26 members. The current president is Vince Tidd. The club's main project this year was the redevelopment of an old quarry, rubbish tip, inhabited by shanties during the Depression, to now a well-used community barbecue and park. They were also involved in sending volunteers to Queensland to help with the clean-up after the major floods, and also hosted a flood fundraiser. In the areas of youth, they've sent students to public speaking, MUNA and Rotary youth forums. This year they also had a team leader, Kel Walls, who led a GSE team to Canada, and now a participant myself. I'm a soil and irrigation advisor, and I currently work for myself doing private contracting and consulting work. I previously worked as a catchment officer for a state government agency responsible for water and soil management within the catchment. I work in a very diverse area of New South Wales, which, although it has some of the best soils in Australia, It also has significant land threats, such as soil salinity, sodicity, and limited water supply, which is a threat to our irrigated agriculture. I spend a lot of time talking to students and landholders about good land management practice, as well as spending time attending meetings and keeping up to date with new research. Most of my time is spent out on farms, visiting clients, attending field days, and talking to landholders. Participating in this exchange will allow me to explore other land issues outside of Australia and see how other countries deal with some of the similar threats that we also might have. As a consultant, I'm always looking for new ideas and keeping ahead of things and keeping up to date with research. My home is an older style place on 20 acres, 6 miles from town, which I share with my dog Clyde and some cattle. My mum and dad live on the coast, and I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. I love travelling, particularly overseas, camping and caravanning, bushwalking and bike riding, both the pedal type and engine type. I also love being involved in community work, at home and overseas. And I also just like being at home on the farm, fencing, building and making things. And in my spare time, I also dabble at a bit of acting. Hang on, that's not meant to be there. Hide that, hide that. What I love about Australia are, though, its extremes. Its extreme landforms, from vast oceans, rainforests, deserts, inland lakes, grasslands and beaches. Its extreme climates, from hot tropical areas around Cairns and Darwin, with maximum temperatures of around 120 degrees Fahrenheit, to cold areas around the snowy mountains in Tasmania, with minimums of 12. Due to these extremes, we experience extreme environmental events, such as floods, fires and droughts. But the other thing I really love about Australia is its ability to cope with these extremes. Now I'm going to hand over to our safety guru, Jo.
G'day, I'm Jo McLean and I'm sponsored by the Inverell Rotary Club. Inverell, also known as the Sapphire City, is a small country town located in central northwest New South Wales. It has a population of approximately 12,000 people and nestled in a picturesque valley beside the McIntyre River. It's a quick drive of 368 miles north of Sydney. Inverell was settled in 1835 by a Scottish immigrant, and the name Inverell is derived from our Indigenous people and means a meeting place of swans. Inverell's climate ranges from 19 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and it has an elevation of 1,913 feet above sea level. There are many things to do in Inverell, but to name a few: gemstone fossicking, visiting the Pioneer Village, Transport Museum and other historical sites, bushwalking, water skiing and other water sports at Copton Dam, which is the town's main water supply. This dam holds more than 3 times the volume of Sydney Harbour. Inverell, or the Sapphire City, I know you will be surprised, supplies 80% of the world's sapphires. Other mining activities include the mining of tin, zircons, and also a girl's best friend, diamonds. Although industrial diamonds only, sorry. Other major industries in Inverell include the cropping of wheat, barley, oats, sorghum, wine grapes and maize. Sheep and cattle farming are also undertaken. The Inverell Club was chartered in 1936 and has 54 members and meets every Thursday night. Our current president is Mr. Chris Newbigin. Our club supports many community activities and youth programs, including the Caravan of Hope, which facilitates counselling and support to persons who've been impacted by flood, drought and bushfire in our local areas. The club also runs a book fair and is involved in projects in Timor and Papua New Guinea, just to name a few. The 9650 District Conference will be held in my town, Inverell, in 2012. Well, I'm the safety guru of this team, and I own and operate an occupational health and safety consulting company. This means I have the